And okay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the BEWell Zoom meeting. Okay. I say meeting and not webinar or seminar because I think what I want to do is create a meeting where we interact. Whereas when I think about a webinar or a seminar, I just see someone on stage teaching and preaching. And I think that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a little bit of interaction, sharing the journey, sharing our knowledge, and helping each other grow, perform better, and so on. So that's why I call it a meeting. And so the meeting means that Alejandro can ask us questions and we can ask him questions. And so it becomes a more enjoyable and interactive hour. Okay, so my name is Gary Marcus Judge. I say Marcus Judge because there are many Gary Judges out there, so I have to put my middle name just to make sure that you know who I am. Gary Marcus Judge. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an owner of a language school, an English school in Verona, Italy, in the north of Italy. I'm also a business coach, mentor. I help Italian professionals, let's say, become international professionals because very often they're in their country, and so I help them with their language skills. I help them with their personal and professional development, networking. I support them in their journey to go out of Italy. Okay, that's what I do. Today's webinar is entitled "Conscious Leadership Unleashed." Conscious Leadership Unleashed. Our guest speaker is Alejandro Bratti. Okay, I hope I said that correctly. And we're going to be talking about like activating consciousness, sustainable high performance, radical inspiration, leadership wisdom, balancing success and well-being. A little bit of all of these topics where we can talk about, we can touch upon some of these some of these topics. Okay, so let me introduce you quickly to Alejandro Bratti. Alejandro is a human strategist. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure he will tell us. With over 50 years of experience spearheading multi-million-dollar ventures globally. Wow. Thank you for being here. This is an honor to have someone like this at your standing. So drawing wisdom from leading 2.5 million endeavors, Alejandro focuses on empowering conscious professionals to build radically inspirational lives and companies without burning out, which is really important, overwhelmed and burning out. So welcome to the BEWell Hub Series, Alejandro. Perhaps you can just give us a little bit of your background and where you're coming from. Introduce yourself.
Well, I have a mix. I have Italian family too, so that's part of where I'm coming. But I was born in Guatemala. My mom is from Guatemala. My dad is from Italy, and all the parents from my dad are Italian. Also from the Verona side, so it's very near where you are.
Okay.
Incredible. That it's a so I have been I have been living in more than 13 countries, living, not traveling. Uh, and I love learning, I love growing, I love that's part of, I believe, who I am. I really love doing it. Also love teaching others. And exactly the way Gary is saying here, it's not about just me being the preacher, but like having a conversation between us. That's something that I really enjoy. Um, I work with big companies and really managing multi-million dollar businesses. And the way those businesses were, I was managing like it was my money and it was my company in that country when I was working. And that's why I am saying it's like I was in charge even to pay the paper for the bathroom, like everything, uh, all the details and having the control of all of that. I specialize myself on improving problems in like any problem that they had in the different countries that I was moving on. I fixed them. I created a new way of working and left the country like having a good leadership, managing everything, and I continue like with the next challenge in the next country. That was the reason I was moving to from one country to another and working and all of that. I love doing it and I really enjoy it a lot. But something that I found, at least in my case, is like I was so passionate about helping and doing it and enjoying changing everything that I forgot about myself to a way that I got a couple of burnouts in my life. That was something that happened. Uh, and I clearly remember once that I was in Costa Rica, I was managing a project of that project was like 200 million maybe. It was a big project. The project was about putting the telecom company. They opened the space to the telecoms, and I was responsible to create the competition with the government. And I one of the things that they were telling me is, Alejandro, normally here in Latin America, when you manage a big project like this, they put somebody local, even when I was not from Costa Rica, but local to manage the project. And they know, the company knows that normally the local people can manage this size of companies and this size of projects. And when you start to have struggles, they send people from Sweden, from other countries to fix the problem that you create. That's the way it has been in the last 20 years. So so just be aware that that will happen, that somebody is going to change you and transform everything that you are doing, and everybody's going to say like, okay, you were a crap because you didn't do it, and that's it. And I was like, okay, that is not possible. That is not going to happen to me.
So you were called in when the project had already started and there were problems, and you were called in to fix the problems and continue the project. Is that right?
But in that case, that was my first one in this company working with that was with Ericsson. And in this case, was not that. It was like they were putting me in charge, saying that, thinking that I was not going to be able to manage it, and I was going to be put another person to fix all the problems that they thought that I was going to create. That was like they were telling me, you are not going to be able to fix it, to have it okay. And normally, in maybe 6 months, you are going to be released from this work, and somebody else is going to take over because normally, locally, there is no good people that can manage this type of project. That's that's what in a nutshell. Like they were telling me, you're going to fail. Like, and of course, that for me was like pushing me to say like that is not something that I'm going to accept or happen. And I created a whole team. Uh, I don't know if you have traveled to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a beautiful place. And they even have a saying. They say "pura vida." Vida means it's like pure life, but in reality, it means like relax, life is good, and everything is going to be fine. Like something like that. Similar to Jamaicans saying like be good and be happy, like something like that. But even when you hear that, the first time that I traveled to Costa Rica, I was like, oh, I love that. It's like I want to have that. It's like that's exactly. And I even started to change. Like I was saying, everybody, pura vida. This is very good. It's nice, and I love it until I started to work with people in Costa Rica because everything continues to be with that mindset of relax. If doesn't happen today, it can happen tomorrow or in the next week or the next month or the next year. It doesn't matter. One day will happen. And that was not something that I was looking for. Why I am telling this story? Because that's where I push, and I really nobody needed to take me over, and I was able to manage completely the whole project with good numbers. There was a competition with another company to have the first network release first, with a lot of issues, and we were the first one to open, and everything was really successful. But there was one day that I had even one of the stakeholders that I had, like calling Alejandro, where are you? I need your help because you need to do this, and started to push me again with all the things that I was supposed to do. And I was like, okay, stop. I am at the hospital. Like I am feeling so bad and I am in the burnout that I can't attend right now. I need to attend my health at this moment. So when I am ready, I will do it. But right now, I am not going to do anything. I am going to fix my health. And that for me was a big aha moment, like to start to awaken, like, okay, are you going to work like this? I was working 12, 13 hours per day. Uh, I had a very good project, but even when I left Costa Rica, they needed to contract like 3 or 4 people to do the work that I was doing. And I was like, okay, if they are able to do it there, I was able to do it even myself and manage in a better way everything. After that, happened exactly what you were saying, Gary. I was moved to different countries to fix the problem that other left. That was exactly what I started to become, like an expert, optimizing, improving, and fixing the problems that somebody else.
What is your job title, Alejandro? I see you're a human strategist. Perhaps you can explain what is a human strategist so we can have a better idea.
I was explaining this as part of like my story
Sure.
before. Then I decided to move, like after 15 years doing that. I decided to move. I started learning. Somebody told me, Alejandro, maybe you are a very good coach. You need to learn how to be a business coach because of all your experience that you have. And what I did was, okay, awesome. But I don't know what is really coaching on what is the meaning of that. Oh, you have to make powerful questions. Okay, what is a powerful question? Like, I don't know that. Of course, I started to learn a little bit about that, and I understood what was that, and I realized that I was doing that every time that I moved into one country to another, even without really knowing that that was exactly what I was doing, because I was coaching the people, the local people, preparing a team, creating a leadership, and suddenly that people was going to stay here there. Why I am calling myself human strategist? Because I really believe we as humans are so powerful that if we strategize ourselves as humans and we develop our human skills, we can really become limitless. And that's really what I am looking for, is to help people to become limitless and to help people to realize their full potential and how they can live their lives without being in the problem of burnout or being in the problem of not knowing how to manage all of that. Uh, but really realizing how powerful we are in our heads, in our minds, in our way of connecting with other, in our way to transform everything. And one of the things that I don't know if you have heard about David Hawkins, Dr. David Hawkins, uh, but he teaches about the map of consciousness. And there is a book that is very famous, The Power versus Force, that is amazing. And when I studied that one, that's the reason I am talking about conscious leadership, because I believe we are always, depending on the level of consciousness, is the level of answers that we give, the level of connection that we give, the level of everything, how we interact with each other. It depends on, let me show you something that I use all the time, but it's like depends on the lenses that we have. So if I have red lenses, everything is red, and it's like I don't understand, Gary, why you are red, and Steven, why you are red, and Marie, why you are red, and it's like I don't understand. Everything is red in my life, and I am so mad with everything that is red. And it's like, yes, it's because of your lenses. It's because of how you are looking at life, and that for me has changed a lot. Today, before this session, I was coaching another leader, and one of the things was like, okay, I told her something that happened in my life. I have two kids, very little kids. One is 3 years old, and the other one is 6. And at night, we always have a prayer, like just to finish the day, and it's a form of meditation and prayer to say, like, thank you, God, for everything. And my wife, normally every day when she was praying, there were some times that I was doing it and sometimes that she was doing it. She was like, she's still working in pharmacy and a pharmaceutical. She's a director in a pharmaceutical. And she was praying, God, and please help me to pick up my fights, to know which fights I can pick up, and I know how I decide which fight is better. That was her prayer, and everybody can say that's good because she's looking for picking up, not taking everything, but just picking which one. And I asked her one day after several times that I was hearing that, do you know what are you attracting when you say that? If I am saying I want to pick up my battle, what do you think the subconscious is going to say and is going to do?
Is that a question to someone? Steve, go.
Yeah.
Steve, there's a question to you.
If you're looking for a battle, you're gonna find
Say that.
it.
You are going to see battles, and everything is
Yeah.
red because there is battles everywhere. And it's like you just see the world with as a battle place that everything is a battle. And for her, it was like opening the eyes. It's like, wow, that's the reason I was looking everything in my business and in the work that I had was a battle because I was even praying to say, let me pick up my battle. So what is the battle that you are looking for and you have been fighting against?
So if we were to pray in the positive, would the positive come to us?
How is life? Tell me a summary of what do you think in a nutshell, maybe in 3-4 words, how is life?
How
Go
is
ahead,
life?
Marie.
Well,
How,
Mary,
how, how my life is? I believe that what we think is what we create, our thoughts and I mean, it's ask and it is given, right? It is what you're talking about. It is our perception. It is what our, now, of course, I fall into that. I catch myself saying things that are bringing in the wrong stuff, but I'm getting better at recognizing that. It's awareness for me. I guess for me, conscious leadership, I'm going to just jump in, is being aware of what I'm thinking, because that really is playing out in my life more and more. And I'm starting to see that, and I'm starting to see how my thoughts and my perceptions, if I see the world as a struggle, or I see everything as a struggle, I get more struggle. If I see it as a gift, I get more gifts. So I'm noticing that more and more, and I'm learning that more and more. And for me, that's part of being conscious. It's
Exactly.
awareness.
I just wanted to add to that is that, and even when you're in that consciousness, and even the struggles are gifts because you realize it makes you stronger. For
I
some
mean, they do. Yeah,
purpose,
absolutely.
right?
They wouldn't be there if we didn't need them, right? I mean, really, when you stop it, there's something about that experience that we need to learn from, maybe. So how I see the world, it has shifted more and more and continues to shift.
Exactly. And what do you think, Gary?
Yeah, I think I agree with Stephen and Marie. I think the challenges that come our way are the challenges that we need to grow. So when someone says, where do I need to focus my energy? Where do I need to grow? Just look at the challenge that you have in that moment of your life, whatever it is, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, health, work, unemployment, whatever it is, those are the challenges that you need. So you can see that as a struggle, or you can see that as a growth path. Again, this is the growth mind and the fixed mind, and all that mindset. So I think that's what that's how I see it.
I wanted to add one little addition there, which is the resistance that we feel many times, and also the emotion. It's a function of our own energy that we put into it. So the more that we resist it, the stronger it'll be, or the more that we resist the slight challenge or the difficulty, whatever it might be, the greater it will seem to us. It's almost as though it's moving through, and without being wise and aware of what's going on, the more energy we put towards trying to change it or stop it is like we just exhaust ourselves. And so if we can be aware of that, it can actually be a little bit easier and less, right? Because we're not pouring so much energy trying to change something that is.
And yeah, and at the end, you are talking the next point that I wanted to talk, and it's about the emotions exactly. So, what do you think emotions are? And let's hear the the four of us. We are going to say something. So, Steven, let's start.
So I label myself as highly sensitive, meaning that I feel chemistry quite intensely. So if I eat something, I feel that, I feel the either the sugar or the food or whatever going through my system. But emotions are the same way. So when there's chemistry within my body, I notice it, and it has an outcome for me. So for that reason, I always avoided conflict, because I don't like that chemistry of what conflict generates. It's the cortisol or whatever it is. So for me, the emotion is the what we are labeling this physiological response, and then also the meaning that we give to it, right? So I mean, we've got chemistry within our body, but then we give it a name. So that's, to me, that's emotion.
I love that. Marie?
Yeah, I agree with Stephen. And for me, emotions are connected to the feelings, to the experience, to the vibration, to the sensations, and they're related to what thoughts. What was I thinking before I started to experience this emotion?
Okay, awesome.
And sometimes if I can identify what that thought was, I can shift the emotion and the feelings and the sensations and the vibrations and the pain and the whatever and even the joy if I can identify that thought that preceded what I'm experiencing.
Okay, let me hear Gary, and I want to do an exercise with you, Marie.
Emotions. I think emotion has always been energy for me. Especially anger. I used to have some major problems with anger, and whether that was I admit it was just out of control. It just took me over like some sort of demon, and but I always used it as an energy. I always thought it was my determination. It was my drive to achieve things. Other people saw it as, like my wife and as a disaster, as some sort of demon, coming into me. And it was like that, because at the end, the emotion was energy. So it actually, I felt burnt out. It was like, someone coming into me, taking all of this, using me, and then just leaving me tired. I would be tired after an argument, physically and obviously all sorts of guilt trips and so on. But so emotion was energy, is energy for me.
So I agree. In my point of view, talking about emotion, it's everything that you have been saying. And I like to put it like emotion is emotion, that is energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. So at the end, that is what it is. And in my case, I believe it's really a compass. And what is a compass? It's okay. It's telling me if I am going to the north, if I am going to the south, or I am going to the east or to the west. And it's as simple as that. Uh, so it's not something wrong at all. It's not something bad. It's just what it is. So if it's anger, it's anger. It's nothing good or bad. It's only anger. But when I see it, like, okay, it's anger. I am feeling anger. Okay, that is a compass. Maybe what I am doing or what I have been thinking is leading me to anger. So maybe I am going to south right now, even when I don't like it, because I want to go to the north. And that's the idea of anger just telling me, okay, this is not enlightening me, and this is not giving me peace, and that's not exactly the place. So I want to do an exercise, and let's do it with you, Marie, because I told you before. But
Oh
let's
boy.
let's think.
Oh boy.
I want you to think, Marie, in something that maybe today or yesterday, it doesn't matter, something that you felt one emotion that you didn't like. And we are not going to judge it. Just tell us, it doesn't matter what is it. But I want you to remember that.
Okay. Give me a
You,
second here. I want to use the same thing as Gary. Do I have to tell you what
use
it
it
is? Okay.
if you want to.
Because yeah, I like the anger. I'm going to go with anger because I do tend to sometimes that is something I can fall into periodically. So I'm gonna go with that one. That's a good one.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and start to imagine a moment that maybe today or yesterday, doesn't have to be like a long time ago, that you felt anger because you didn't like it. And when you have it, just nod or tell me yes.
When I have that feeling of anger, is that what you're
When
wanting
you
me to?
remember a moment
Oh,
that
okay.
of
Yeah.
something that created anger for you.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Now I want you to expand that feeling. Make it more strong.
Okay.
Okay. Where are you feeling it? In which part of your body?
I'm feeling hot. I'm getting hotter. I'm getting like
Okay.
this pressure in my chest that I
Okay.
just want to burst,
o-
basically.
Okay. Awesome. Now, if that part of your body, that your chest can tell you something about that anger, what do you think it's trying to tell you?
Ooh. I think it's just trying to say, just see me,
Awesome.
acknowledge me. Don't try to hide me. Don't try to tell me you're not angry. You are. No, I'm not angry. Don't do that. Just acknowledge you're angry right now.
O-
I think that's
Okay,
what it's
so
trying to say.
now breathe it and start to acknowledge it. It's there. And start to breathe deeply and slow and just feel it and know that it's there and accept it.
And then as I do that, and I'm a breath worker, so I do breathe.
Yeah.
That's my way through. As I breathe, as I breathe fully into my belly, that anger, that pressure starts to soften.
Now I
The,
want
the
you to
heat, the heat moves, and so it spreads.
that's exactly what we want. But I want you to think, what do you want to have instead of that, and be conscious about it.
Just peace and calm.
Okay. So bring that through your breathing and start to imagine, how is that peace? Is something that is like a light, or is something just as a feeling? How is this for you?
It's like laying on a floaty on the ocean or even the river, not rough, but just a calm movement of water, and you're just floating on it. That's what it feels like.
Okay. So start to feel that and start to breathe and start to imagine that you are in that river that is very calm, that is relaxing, that is chilly, but it's good because it's relaxing and bringing peace to your chest.
Okay, I'm taking a nap.
So that was exactly at the end, that's the idea of the emotions. It's like, okay, I have it. I am
Yeah.
disconnected because I am feeling all the heat and I am feeling everything.
Mm-hmm.
So acknowledge. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that was saying. It's like it's there. It's not something wrong. Just telling me that I am in the wrong mood. I am thinking about something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But acknowledge, breathe in, and move to the and start to think about the. So that's at the end being conscious. A conscious leader is being able to understand, not because normally what we do, and I include in that part, is, oh, I feel angry. No, I can feel angry. So right now, a conscious leader can be angry. So I have to forget that I am angry and I have to think about another thing. And suddenly I think about another thing and I don't feel it. But the problem is that the anger is still there.
And it seeps out, because that's happened to me where I haven't acknowledged it. I've told myself, don't acknowledge it, don't become aware of it, don't take a moment and go breathe, you know, and it seeps out anyway. It seeps out in your words, it seeps out in your actions. And I've experienced that. And I suspect, or not, I imagine that all of us have had that, where it's there, but we are trying to avoid it or ignore it.
You know, if I could give an example of anger and leadership, because in my business, I'm the owner, so I'm considered the leader. And I remember also like how private life, how life outside of business affects your anger and then your relationship and the interaction with the people who work for you. So what would happen in the morning, because this is before I actually put some sort of barriers and put down some sort of good habits, I'd wake up late in the morning because I'd been to sleep late the night before, watching TV or whatever until late. I'd wake up next morning late, rushing breakfast down my face really quickly, anything, whatever I found, putting the kids in the car, going through all the traffic and trying to beat the traffic lights and trying to beat and overtake and get to school on time. No time for the kids, just throw them out of the car. Goodbye, goodbye. Trying to get to work because I had a lesson, because I was teaching at the time, at 8:30 in the classroom. So you can imagine the state I was in when I got into the classroom. And there I was the person who had to be the friendly motivator, the friendly teacher, the open person. Yeah, I'd just gone through a battle to get to the classroom. And I was carrying that, and I was trying to put that to one side, as you were saying, Marie, and saying, here I am. Hello, students. Nice to see you. Good morning.
I
I was
love
smiling,
you.
and inside of me, there was a turmoil that was like eating me up. But outside, I was like, hello, happy, you know. And it just really, it would just burn me inside. I would go on and on and on and on. And then I never had time to actually direct that energy somewhere else. And it would come out, as you say, it was like that shadow that would just come out in the wrong moment with my wife. So I'd be abrupt with her and she wouldn't understand why. And it had nothing to do with her. It was something that I'd been carrying all day long. And so, as a leader, though, I think those were some of the things that happened. Like, you know, and so I don't know. What's your take on this, Alejandro? Have you come across this in your coaching or in your work?
A lot. At the end, that's what part of the things that I work with. So there is a session when I am doing a high performance coaching session. There is one session that I work that is called clarity. And clarity is key because normally people doesn't know who they are or what is their best version, for example. So we can do that exercise quickly, and I can answer you after that exercise again. And for this exercise, I am going to ask you, the three of you, to do it. It's not only to be only with Marie, but Gary and Steven. So close your eyes again and breathe deeply. And start to connect with the best version of you and start to imagine the best version of you. Maybe you can imagine that you are on a beach because you love a beach and you are being your best version, being so happy, being so peaceful, connected. Or if you like the woods and being in the middle of the woods, you are in the middle of the woods and you are walking there. It's very early in the morning and you are walking there, just grateful that you are there and you are able to be there and enjoy there, and grateful to be alive and to be healthy and to be you. And you are walking and you can hear all the leaves moving because of the wind, and you can hear maybe birds singing, and it's amazing. You feel just bliss around you, and you can have all the sensations of bliss and enjoyment and happiness, everything together, and love and passion and compassion. And it's amazing how you are feeling. And you feel that you are one with everything and everything is one with you. And in this place, think about three words that can define the best of who you are and can be used to guide your personal life, can guide your thoughts, your actions. And this is the best version of Gary, of Marie, of Steven telling you right now. These three words can represent that, the best of who you are. And if you have a place to write them when you have them. When you wrote them, just close your eyes again and continue in the same place. And you are still in that place of bliss, of happiness, of joy, of peace. And suddenly somebody comes and you are in your best version and you can interact with others in that best version of you. And you interact with them and it's like, wow, it's amazing the way I am interacting and I am connecting and I feel even inspired when I am connecting with these people that is coming and that is here with me. What are three words that can represent and define and guide how you are engaging and treating others when you are your best version? And when you have them, write them down. And now with your eyes closed again, imagine that you are able to talk with your own version in the future, the last week of your life. And there you have Gary, Marie, and Steven. Maybe when that version of you has 90 years old, 100 years old, I don't know. And that person tells you, Gary, Marie, Steven, this is success for you. This is what makes you successful during your lifetime. And you are able to have a conversation with this version of you. What do you think this person is going to tell you? What are three words that can remind you what makes you most successful and will continue making you successful? What are the three words? And when you have them, write it down. So Gary, with the question that you had, that's something that happens a lot. Like, okay, I am finishing a day that was crazy because nothing worked or the customer that I was expecting didn't pay and I have to pay a lot of bills and my family is waiting for me and they are expecting that I have the money to do it and I don't have it. I will have it, but I don't have it now. And I have a conversation with my kids. So what do I do? Tell me what are your three words for interaction?
With your kid, with your child.
Your three words, yours. The words that came to your mind for interacting.
The first three words, that the ones that okay, I wrote. Well, I don't know. This is I wrote carefree, adventure, and alive or vibrant.
Awesome. Those are amazing words. And the second ones that were about interacting with others.
Open, caring, enthusiastic.
Okay, so stay there. So it's very simple. It's like, okay, even no matter the space that I am right now, I can close my eyes and I can connect like I am open. I am what was the other two? Sorry? Caring.
And enthusiastic.
I am open, caring, and enthusiastic. So those are, if you see, they are from the heart. They are emotions from the heart. It's not emotions from the mind, but are from the heart. Because the heart is the one that is open, the heart is the one that is caring, and the heart is the one that is enthusiastic. So they are from the heart. And the only one that aligns all our chakras is the heart, because it's the biggest. This is the one that has the more power, is the more magnetic one, is the one that creates lives. So at the end is the heart. So those three emotions are heart emotions. To connect with them. I have this session, this meeting, and I have been crazy running, and I am tired, and I have all of that. But I can close my eyes for a minute and connect. Okay, what is caring? I'm feeling the caring, and connect with that word. What is caring? And I am open and connect with the word of openness. And I am enthusiastic and connect with that word. And then you have the teaching. And in that moment, you are going to be a conscious person that connected with the version that you wanted to give to all those students. And it's not the version that was running and passing the stops and pushing the kids to to be quick, you know. It's the version of you being open, being caring, and being enthusiastic. And just by connecting to those words, when you start to talk, it's going to be the best version of you. So when I come here and I decided to have 1 minute before I open, even when you send the message, I saw the message and I wait for 1 minute because I needed to connect with myself. I needed to connect to my words, and my words are very similar. I connect because I want to connect with you, and I want to show. I wanted to connect. I wanted to be vulnerable with you. I wanted to care. I wanted to show that I care. And I also wanted to inspire. And those were my three words. And that's what I wanted to be here. And if I did that during the session today, for me, this session was amazing because I was my best version of me. If you buy something more from me, if you decide to continue working with me, it doesn't matter because I was my best version. I am not connected to the idea of, yeah, I have this session because I want to use the the people from Gary and I want them to buy everything from me because no, I just want to be the best version of me and I want you to see the best version of me. And in that place, if you want something more and you want to have more conversation, that's okay, that's perfect. If you don't want, that's okay, that's perfect too. Because I was my best version, and that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I think it's obviously when I imagined my first three words, they were not in that situation of driving through the traffic, taking the kids to school, waking up late, trying to get in the classroom at 8:30. It wasn't that situation. Those three words came where I was in my sanctuary, in my space, where I go in the mountains, in the woods, on top of a peak looking over, and that was carefree, adventure, and vibrant. That's where I was. If you
And
were
that's
to
who you are.
But if you were to ask me in the traffic and all that, okay, give me three words, I'd be angry, not hateful is too strong, but angry,
Frustration, maybe.
disturbed.
Exactly.
Something like that, like I wouldn't be where the three words that I put being in my safe space would be different, obviously.
And that's the power of having those words. And that's why a clarity session is key. Because when you have those words, you know already who is your best version. And it's not the version of you running in the middle of the traffic and having all the struggle that you may have in the traffic. That's another version of you, but it's not the best version. So the
No.
idea is that you start to know what is the best version, and you can connect with that one because you already know. Normally, people doesn't know who is their best version, so they are just living whatever is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, time has flown by, really has. It's like 5 minutes to the hour. And
Yeah.
so I want to give 5 minutes, the remaining time to also to Steve and Murray, maybe to introduce themselves and tell us what they're working on, maybe some projects or any difficulties they're finding or whatever it is. So we get a chance to actually know each other a little bit better. So Steve, do you want to take it away? A few minutes just to tell us what you're doing, what projects you're following, who you are, where you're calling from.
I'd be happy to. And I'll share my 3 words first. I put it into a kind of a mission statement. So I wrote down the 3 words as a statement, which was, I am awesome, do something great. So those are my 3 words. And so my mission statement became, do something great with kindness, confidence, and security to serve. That's one of the words, by creating authentic connection. So that's my great, that's my space of being the best self. And what's interesting is that's fits right in with my group. When I imagined myself, I was right here in my living room. It was just a cleaner house. So a cleaner house, and I had a loving buddy with me that she was a partner that reflected the joy that I had. So it's the same house, same place. It's just a slight modification where it was cleaner and where I had someone to enjoy it with. So that's my perfect self. And that's very doable. So I like that. And then the second thing is, and the house was filled with gratitude as well. So there was a positive energy. What I do is I've got the Global Summit events. I've got, my own coaching. It's mybest-life.com is the source for that. It's about helping people just shift that focus and realize that this is your life, right? It's this idea of you can have any life you want, but just live it with intention. So there's no judgment over how you choose to live, but realize the power we have in shaping that and bringing that around. With the Global Summit events community, it's this idea that we are all tasked with being helpers, and it's bringing this peer group together that can encourage one another, that they can elevate each other to really to leverage the strengths of diversity, of what we know, who we know, and how we do it. So that's it. And we've got events on the calendar. So if anybody that's watching this replay would want to find that, it's globalsummitevents.org. And then you can just do /calendar.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Thank you, Steve. Murray, tell us a little bit about you and where you're coming from.
You're muted.
Me unmuting myself. So yeah, okay. So to start, I think for me, to remember that coming back to that place of clarity is actually success, right? And I sometimes forget that. And so my 3 words were kind, inspiring, and happy. And what I do is I support hardworking or any kind of working women break free from the clutches of burnout and reclaim their joy, focus, and zest for life. And I really focus on those women that are in midlife, because that's when I experienced my burnout. And I personalize experiences using readily accessible, easy to use tools such as conscious breathing that helps them take control of their wellness, their well-being, and really embark on that journey of self-discovery and inner peace. So that's where I'm coming from. And I just recently niched to that working women in midlife. It's been about, I've been working on it for about the last month of, it's like, it's time, Maria, it's time to kind of focus. And so that's really exciting for me, because now I kind of have that clarity over where I can best be kind, inspiring, and bring joy to others. So
Yeah, definitely. I think being the best version of ourselves is when we can actually put that to the service of others. That's fulfillment. It's more than it is. It's our trajectory. It's our onward journey.
yeah.
So I think that's what we're all aiming to do. So Alejandro, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for the exercises that we went through. Very enlightening. Good luck with all your business ventures, and welcome to come to BEWell, because BEWell is every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. CET, which is Central European Time. Next week, we're going to have, if I get this name right, Enrique Gonzalez. Enrique Gonzalez is going to be coming along, and he's going to talk to us about transforming struggling leaders. So again, we're talking about leadership and how we manage ourselves, and leadership and leaders are not always successful. There are moments when we go up and down, and having some strategies on how to actually manage those down moments will be really helpful. So next week, we're going to be talking about transforming struggling leaders into successful ones. So if you're free, come along. Thank you very much. And click on the BEWell the next time you see it, and let's try and share this with other people. Okay, so look after yourselves, and I'll hopefully see you next week.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you,
Great to
Alejandro.
see you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you all.
Thank you.
Bye.